Good morning, traders. Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show for the very last episode of 2025. I'm super excited to share this 30 minutes with you guys as usual. Want to let you guys know I'm sort of out of my normal environment and I don't have access to the chat, so my producer will pop up any comments as they might fit the conversation. My apologies for that. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see you at the moment. So bear with me on that, but we are going to have a fun and phenomenal show for you guys today to round out 2025 as we get prepared for a brand new start and things looking exciting as we move forward into 2026. Hey, look at that. I actually see a chat. All right, so there we go. Hey, John, great to see you, buddy. Okay, so let's get into it. As we round out the year, first and foremost, Apex Trader Funding having the sale that everybody waits and with bated breath for, which is 90% off all evaluations. So everything is 90% off. I think we're looking at about 19 bucks and change per evaluation, regardless of size. They've sort of normalized the pricing on that. Also, $65 lifetime activation for the small accounts, 25K, 50K, and 100K. $125 activation for the big boys, 150, 250, and 300. So take full advantage of that as we round out the year. We know this sale doesn't come along very often, so now is the time. Do not hesitate. Do not wait. Start 2026 off with an arsenal of accounts ready to serve you and pay you out for 2026. We will, as usual, be giving away 3 evaluations over the course of this show for Apex Trader Funding. So make sure to fill out the form in the chat and get your name in there before the end of the show so that you have a shot at winning one of those. Of course, we will announce this week's winners on next week's show. Of course, we have 3 winners from last week as well. So congratulations to Patrick, Ashley, and Emmanuel. I think I did pretty good on those today. So congratulations to you guys. And maybe that will be your name we're announcing on next week's episode. As you guys, if you follow the Forge Trader, you know I haven't done much in quite a while. Again, I'm not going to just sit here and apologize. Life has been a little bit chaotic. Things are starting to normalize as I prepare for 2026. I have a lot of plans and things in place that will help me get back on track with that. So just keep an eye out. As usual, you know, you can go to theforgetrader.com/join and I will update you on anything that's going on. Yes, there has been a complete lack of updates lately because nothing has been going on, but there will be soon. And I have promised follow-ups on Alon's and Jesse's episodes where they're teaching traders how to operate trading like a business, and we will follow up on those as well. As usual, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things that you know you're supposed to do. That really helps the show continue to grow and develop and helps us get exciting guests to continue knocking at our door to be a part of this show so that they can share their wisdom and guidance with you. So make sure to do that as well. On today's show, we're going to have a fun show. We've got Roy today. Roy has been a successful trader, not only in his own personal growth and development as a trader, well into the 6-figure mark for the year, but also has had an opportunity to share his wisdom with other traders and continuing to grow other successful traders as well. So we'll share everything that you need to know on that. So let's welcome on today's show, Roy, on this episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now. Roy, good morning, man. How's it going?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Great to see you. Hey, thanks for suffering that winter weather to be on the show with us today. We're having a little fun with this. Roy was actually joining us from a Starbucks, and it sounded like he was at a rave, so he agreed to go outside. Fortunately, he's in sunny Southern California, and it could be worse. So definitely appreciate that. Roy, welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well. And yeah, just like you said, a little bit out of my normal environment when it comes to trading. So I'm on a little soccer tournament vacation with my family. So my 2 boys are playing down here in San Diego. So popped over to a Starbucks, and the sound was a bit too loud inside, so we set up outside instead.
Awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate it. Well, let's talk a little bit of trading, man. So how long have you been in the trading game?
So I've been trading, like when it comes to futures, I started just a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So pretty new to futures. But I've been trading for 4 or 5 years. Before
Mhm.
that, I did options and stocks and covered calls and different strategies with that. And also my background is in finance. I have an MBA in finance.
Right.
So I have some experience with numbers and trading and stuff, but fairly new to trading the futures and prop firms and
So this is
this
this
world.
this is a concept that does come up frequently enough, and I've heard this asked in a variety of different ways. But so many people have this sort of one camp is finance education, like this is how they treat finance, this is how they treat any sort of trading and investing, and then you have the trader camp who operates from a very different standpoint. You have a background in both. Have you found that there's a lot of crossover, or is it less than one might expect, considering what it is that you do as a trader?
That's a good question. I think another thing that actually made me successful in trading is my background in sports
Mhm.
and being used to being under pressure. 'Cause I think you can know a lot about trading. Like, come from
Right.
finance, you understand it and you know
Mhm.
it, but that doesn't really help you if you can't handle the pressure or you can't handle being in the risk, can't handle losing, like the mental part of it. So trading is
Sure.
very different to knowing the like how an option works or
Sure.
knowing how
It-
the
you-
yeah.
well, and we're going to get into that when we start getting into strategy, because you, like one of the other guests that I had on several weeks ago, utilize option information to help decision making in futures, and I want to explore that because I think it's such a fascinating concept, and one that I have not been able to connect the dots on myself very well. But I want to address the comment that you made about having this background in sports and in a competitive environment, a high stress environment. As most people know, my primary role in work over the course of the last several years has literally just been talking to successful traders. And I will say that I have seen this over and over and over again. It's not that people who don't come from an athletic or sports based background can't succeed. I certainly did not. Right? That was never that was never my life. But I've seen it over and over. There is definitely a consistent factor when you see this. So let's explore that a little bit. What do you think it really was about that history, training, and experience that immediately charged your trading success?
I think it could be many things, but I think one thing is the sport I played was soccer. And
Mhm.
when you play soccer, you have to make many decisions very quick.
Sure.
You get the ball, you have three players coming
Mhm.
at you. You gotta dribble, you gotta pass, you gotta take a
Mhm.
shot, it's not a set, like, you don't know for sure, like, this is the best decision. And I
Right.
feel like sometimes it's similar to trading. Like, yes, you go in with a plan, you go in with like, oh, this is my setup, this looks like I want to take this trade, but
Right.
then it works against you, or like something unexpected happens. So you got to be able to make decisions quick.
Mhm.
So I think that's maybe a part of it. And
Mhm.
also, you're used to winning, you're used to losing. That's a big part of trading. Like, you got to be able to
Right.
bounce back from
Can't win
a
every
losing
trade.
trade.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's also part of it.
Sure.
I've been in sales for many
Mhm.
years too, and in sales, you got to lose a lot until you win one.
Sure.
So I think
Hopefully, you
that's
got better
like,
ratios in trading, ideally.
yeah, hopefully. So yeah, I think it's maybe many aspects, but
Yeah.
components to it. But I think
So
that's for sure one of them.
I know one of the big concepts in any sort of athletics, any sort of sports, is drills and skills practice, right? So, when you sort of when you practice an event over and over and over again, it sort of minimizes the necessary thought process. When we talk about prefrontal cortex and
Yeah.
that thought process, and you can go into subconscious action.
Mhm.
Did you implement any of this into your trading in the form of like back testing or looking at chart patterns or anything like that, where you had the opportunity to execute over and over again in a practice scenario that made you more confident taking those actions in live trading?
Maybe I should have, but I don't trade well in paper because I feel
Mhm.
like it's not the same emotions. It's not,
Sure.
for me, it's not real.
Right.
Uh, but maybe I should have done that more. But I think for sure, like, just many, many reps, same
Mhm.
as any sports or
Sure.
anything you want to be good at. You just have to have many reps, and you have to do it over and over and over. And
Right.
eventually, like when I was losing a trade like a year and a half ago, it was way more stressful than now. And you take it more personally. Now it's kind of like, oh, that one didn't work out. Move on to the next one.
Well, and that brings up a really good point in that practice is never going to be the same as being in the game, so to speak. Not to just beat this metaphor with a dead horse here, but the reality is that practice also has to match the context, and so yes, you can practice certain drills and certain things, but until you practice them in reality, and until you get reps in the game, you're not going to be in that same frame of mind as you mentioned. So this is one of the dynamics of trading where you don't really see a whole lot of people who hit that success level in 6 months, and then all of a sudden they're just, they're making bank and buying Lambos and doing all the things that everybody pretends they're doing in trading, right? So, but it does take that time, and spending that time, even if it's in in an evaluation environment or a funded account environment, which may not be the same, obviously, as trading your own line of funds. That's still real practice with real money on the line, in the sense of, if you earn money and then you blow it, you don't get to take out that money. So that is money out of your pocket in a sense, right? Having that dynamic and having that time in tension is sort of, I guess, maybe that skills practice that a lot of traders need, even if they don't go through the process of back testing. I've never been good at back testing either. I know a lot of traders who are like, yeah, you don't really need to do that. I don't necessarily agree, but I don't necessarily disagree. I think it's trader dependent. But what was the process like for you to get through some of that gathering reps stage? How did you make it through some of the challenges and struggles along the way?
So I agree. I think backtesting could be good. Just to touch on that real quick. And I think if I had like 50 hours every day, I probably would spend some of those hours backtesting. But with a busy life, with family, kids, I own my own business. I did a lot of evaluations, and maybe that's almost like paper money. But like you said, there's still a little bit of your own capital on the line. If you make it, you get a real account. And I started out, Apex was the first prop firm that I started out trading with. I started out with their evaluation accounts, and for some reason I thought the 250 was the way to go, so I started with the 250 accounts, and they're not that easy to pass. But I was determined. Like I wanted to figure this out. Like I thought, oh, this is so cool. You pass this, you can trade with real money. I thought at that point, when you got a funded account, that it was real money. Now I know it's not, but so yeah, I blew a lot of evaluation accounts. I started back in June 2024. I think when I bought my first, June or July maybe. And that month I traded. So I have my own business, but July usually is very slow. For that business. So I spent probably 3-4 hours every day trading in July. So I got a lot of reps in, a lot of trades. Bought a lot of evaluation accounts, and it took me many of them to kind of get started. But I think I passed my first in August, my first like 250 account, and I still remember it. I was like in the car, and I got the email, oh, you passed, like you're gonna tomorrow I'm gonna trade like a real 250 account. Like I was stoked. I was so excited. I thought it was like, oh, I'm gonna trade like real money. This is gonna be easy. Because I think I did the 15K the day before in many trades, not in like one trade, but it was like it came back and like kind of like scalping, like many like 500, 1,000, like smaller trades, but many contracts.
A lot of them,
yeah. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. And I hadn't read the rules good enough, so first day I was like excited, and I was like, okay, let's go. Did the same tactic, like $500, $100,000, $500, $1,000, and like $6,000 up. I was like, this is great. So I made like $6,000 the first day. I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I can almost request the payout within one day. Turns out you got to trade a lot more than one day, and there's something called a consistency rule that I didn't know about. I was like, oh, I just made it a lot harder. Now I need to make like 25K before I can get the payout. And of course, that did not happen. I think I blew the account like 2 days later. Like, oh, dang it. So
similar story. We've all been
long learning curve. But Yeah, I really read the rules. Okay,
Mhm.
this is how it works. I got to play the game the way it
Right.
is. And I was able to get, I think, 20 accounts funded.
Mm.
I switched to the 50Ks because for me it was better, like risk
Yeah.
reward. Um, and then still remember I was like $100 from payout. I copy traded all 20, and it's like, okay, I was excited in the morning. I was going to hit the next 100 tomorrow. Got up, got stopped out for $400 in my first trade. It's like,
Mhm.
okay. And I did what you never should do. Like, I'm going to make it back.
Right.
Doubled down, lost another like 500. Oh, no. And then ended up blowing up all 20 accounts.
Mhm.
I was like, oh,
Mhm.
man, that was tough. Because that was also back when if you got to 52,600, you can take out 2K in each. Remember
Yeah. Uh-huh.
those rules? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that was hard. Like that was like one of the moments like you almost gave up
Mhm.
because that was so
Yeah.
close to like a big payout, and I lost everything. And I did like the classic like revenge trading, gonna make it back.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was tough. And then you would think I would learn from that, but I think it was like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I had 10 accounts.
Mhm.
And the same. I wasn't as close. I think I was like $300
Mhm.
going payout, and I lost all of them again. Like, man, that was tough. So I changed a little bit after that. I changed to not copy trade for a long time.
Yeah.
So just one-on-one account, made some to pay out,
Mhm.
lost some accounts, started over, like
Mhm.
this whole thing. But it kind of started clicking in like November, December
Mhm.
in 2024. And since that, I've been able to do 5 figures
Yeah.
payouts every month since then.
That's every month.
Not
That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's been awesome. But I still like spend quite a bit on
Mhm.
evaluations, on loose accounts. So it's not like I
Sure.
feel like I figured it out, but it's been a learning curve.
Well, I think you're at the stage at a little higher level than me based on what we've talked about. But what I say is I still fail, but I fail at a higher level. And that failure sometimes pays me out, right?
Yeah,
So you start to see some success. I mean, everything is a trajectory. There's no immediate jump from point A to point B. You've got to kind of make that progression along the way.
right.
And signs that you're moving in that right direction definitely help. Look, it helps soften the blow when you take a 5-figure payout and go, okay, well, cool. I may have sucked on this particular day, but I didn't suck so
Yep.
bad that I didn't get that, right? And that really is part of that growth as a trader, because there is no, it's not like you flip a switch and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't go on tilt anymore. And as you and I have obviously talked about, and I've talked
Yeah.
about on the show, after my biggest payout in November, I've had just a terrible run, not because of bad PA, as people like to say, but because of bad behavior on my part. And I'm working
Yeah.
through a lot of that as I prepare for 2026. Now, I teased a little something at the beginning of the show that you and I have talked about, and that I've talked about with another guest, but I really want to start to dig a little bit deeper into this. You talked about using options levels as indication for how you trade the futures. Let's go ahead and pull up the charts, and let's talk a little bit about the strategy that has got you failing at a higher level to the point where I think I'm to where you're actually getting paid out.
Yeah.
Um, are we still on
So
audio?
I can hear you.
Uh, I have
We
lost
good?
audio.
I can hear you fine. Um,
Well, we are going to finish up the year with technical difficulties. Aaron, I don't know if you're hearing, but I'm in the dark here, so to speak.
it looks like you muted yourself.
Roy, can you hear me? Okay, I've got no audio. I can't hear what you're saying. So, well, I'm going to let you go ahead and just jump into some explanation on what it is that you do. I'm not going to be able to ask a whole heck of a lot until we can see if we figure out what is going on with the audio. But go ahead and just sort of describe what it is that you look for in the options arena that helps you with the futures trades.
Yep, absolutely. So, for many of you guys trading futures, you might think about this. Oh, this looks weird. Here, this is an SPX chart. It's 5-minute chart, and this is not futures. And there's no EMAs, there's no MACD, there's no like any of all these things that we all look at. But I clean up my charts and basically only look at the SPX 5 minutes, and I look at where the market makers are. So the market makers, they make a market, right? They sell options, and what's really driving the market these days is the 0-day options, and that market has just exploded over the last couple of years, especially on the SPX. So what I do, I use levels like where the market makers have the bigger like put, where they sold the most puts and where they sold the most calls options, where they have the most exposure. And very, very often we see the price would move. Like even this morning, it popped up. You see the first 2 green candles, and then you see 2 red candles. HEL, it's like the balance point. So when it broke through there, I took a trade to the downside, and my goal was put support. So we had like a 10-point move down to put support. Green line here at 6,900, and it didn't bounce right off it, but it kind of like not too far from it, right? And then it came back up to HL and then back down, and it's kind of consolidating around that 6,900. And we see that very often, even if it moves it upside or downside, like it comes up to different GEX levels, which is gamma exposure levels. So that's usually what I look for now. I look for a level-to-level trade, and I trade towards where the market makers have the biggest exposure, because they have to hedge against their position. So if they sell a lot of call options, and as market is moving up to call resistance, they have to buy another underlying. So they usually would buy ES or they would buy SPY, and the market is moving that direction. And then when price gets to that point, like this morning when price got down to 6,900, they can start lightening up their load and they can sell or buy back. And usually we see a bounce from that level, or at least price would stop or consolidate in that area. So that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months, and it's really been helping the way I trade. Yeah, I don't know if it looks like you're on mute, Gates. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. Chat.
Here we go. Any audio on me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me actually kill the camera on that. We're having various layers of technical difficulty, but I think we've got it all figured out again. So let me ask you this, and maybe you addressed this in the beginning stages, but when you have these 2 charts side by side, the SPX as well as ES, when you compare the candles, I mean, are they as consistent as you would hope for, seeing as you're trying to trade level to level? Like, will you see essentially the same candle structure on ES as you'll see on SPX, or is there some variance that you'd have to take into account?
Probably like 99%.
Okay.
Correlating, yeah, very, very similar.
So okay, so when you're looking at this, is your entry model, and again, forgive me if this was answered in the very beginning stages, is your entry model when you hit a certain level on the SPX, you're taking that signal on the futures just immediately, or is there a certain pattern you're looking for? Is there certain indication that there's a turnaround there?
So this is like the main thing I'm using, but I'm still using like EMAs and MACDs and like all the old stuff.
Sure.
And usually I would enter on a 1 minute chart on ES, but like my thesis, I would look at the morning breakout, orb strategy, first 5 minute candles, and then to establish a bias direction for the day. But then I would look at these levels to see, do we have enough room for the next GEX level or enough room to the next. Today, it was not really a breakout at all. But 2 trades that I see here on the chart that we're looking at is it broke through HEL, that blue line, HVL 0DT. When it broke through that with like a lot of that's kind of like a clear candle that it's not going to hold. So I would kind of like, when it came to that level, I was like, oh, it's going to bounce off here, or is it going to break through it? When I see it's clearly breaking through and it comes back up and retests, I took a short on that green candle after that. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth candle today.
Okay.
I took a short here on that one.
Gotcha. Okay. So on that retest, I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. So the goal on that trade was that it would move down towards put support, and then when that trade worked out, I would go over to my next account and actually take a long off put support. So very often the market makers will lighten the load when it hits put support, and we'll see it bounce.
Okay.
The first one I got stopped out of because it didn't bounce exactly off put support. It was like a 5-6 point move, or 4 points move under it. Got stopped out, and then my next trade worked out really well, back up to HVL.
So you managed to catch the short. You lost a long because it continued on for a moment. Took another long, managed to take that. So 2 for 3 on the day with that strategy.
Yeah, and today was not a very clear pattern either because we didn't have a breakout. So it's not the best day, but very often you see like it just not always, but very often it comes to these big levels, like especially if you have a call resistance kind of close, it would go there on a bullish day, or if you have a put support within reach on a more bearish day, very often you see it hit those levels.
Gotcha. And so and of course price action this week is generally known to be a little off, as a lot of people are on vacation. There's not necessarily the volume being traded as we're used to seeing throughout the rest of the year. So I know a lot of people are taking this week off for that reason, but it doesn't mean that there's not opportunity. It just means that opportunity has to be based on something that still is viable at times like right now, where volume is notoriously low.
Yeah, exactly. And I would maybe have taken this week off too if it wasn't for this traded bacon show.
Nice.
But I figured I wanted to have a couple of trades in today, so it's easy to talk about it.
See that? We already made you a little extra money.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what it's like on the other side. It's taken you, years of work and effort and learning and growth and developing reps in the world of trading. And now here you are, it's the end of 2025. You've had a pretty killer year. What's changed for you in the last few months as you continued to build and grow your success as a trader? What's been going on with you?
I feel like I'm slightly on the other side, but maybe not fully. But it's been super fun. Like I look forward to getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning in California and looking at my charts, getting a coffee, and like getting into some trades. Like I really enjoy it. So for me, it's fun. I like it, and I like to do that for an hour and a half before I get into my quote unquote real job. So I've been enjoying that. I am privileged enough to now also starting a trading course where I'm gonna coach a smaller group in how like the whole prop firm world works and how I'm trading. I'm gonna do live tradings Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays in the morning for like an hour and a half. So I'm excited about that. I really enjoy it. So it's fun, but I also, to be honest, enjoyed it like the first 6 months, like learning something new, like really like digging into it and failing forward, kind of like what you talked about, and constantly like getting a little bit better. And it's like 2 steps forward, 1 back. Like it's not like I think I'm a little bit better now than I was a year ago, but not like that much better. It almost
looks like a candlestick chart when we see that growth curve, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So as you're teaching other traders and developing, one of the things that I've been just such a proponent of is one of the best ways to learn and get better is to teach somebody else. Have you noticed as you started to go down this road, you're seeing things a little bit more clearly, or you have a little more certainty? Has any of that sort of started to kick in yet?
So I just had my webinar like last week, and I'm starting like my first group. I'm starting January 5th. So I have done some have done a little bit with like
Mhm.
a test group for a couple of weeks, and I definitely think through my trades more before I do
Mhm.
it. When I know everybody's watching and they might trade with me,
Right.
like one dangerous is you could be too passive or like too defensive,
Sure.
but it's definitely going to help you against like not tilting and not revenge trading and all that stuff. So that's good. But I think in anything you want to learn yourself, if you're
Mhm.
gonna teach somebody else the same concepts,
Mhm.
you really need to know what you're knowing,
Sure.
and just in to be able to like verbalize it and talk about it, you learn so much yourself. So I
Right.
think in 2026, I'm gonna become also a way better trader, just
Sure.
from teaching somebody else.
That's awesome. Now, as you're developing these groups, are you teaching the correlation between the options and the futures, kind of like what we talked about today? Is that a consistent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll look at like the gamma levels
Mhm.
where the market makers have the biggest
Mhm.
exposure, and we'll look at that a lot. We might take some option trades as
Mhm.
well,
Sure.
but the focus in that group is futures and it's prop firms. And the strategy that I've been doing when I do get payouts, I almost immediately take 50% of that and
Mhm.
invest in new evaluations or
Right.
accounts,
Okay.
so that I can always like kind of grow that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like to have multiple chances of getting payouts.
Now, what you figured out, is it something that would be transferable to say QQQ/NQ instead of if somebody wanted to trade, NQ futures versus ES, would the same
Yeah,
concepts apply the same way and finding the levels and everything like that? Is that pretty consistent across the board?
yeah. So it would be on RUT as well. The biggest ones where you can buy 0 day options.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah,
So NQ and
yeah.
gold, maybe crude oil, that kind of thing, the biggies.
Yeah, I have actually never done that. It's kind of
Uh-huh.
funny. I've done a little bit of like NQ, but almost probably like 99% of my trades for like a
Mhm.
year and a half just been ES and SPX. I just wanted to get like really good at that
I
and
hear it
knowing how
doesn't
it
wick as
works.
bad.
Yeah, it's not as so yeah. NQ moves faster
Sure,
for
for
sure.
sure,
So it's when you're right, it's better, but when you're wrong, it's worse,
sure.
kind of. Um, but yeah, it's not so wiki, and I just wanted to be good at one thing, so I trade at the
Right.
same time and the same ticker.
Beautiful. If someone wanted to find out more about what it is that you're doing, this is not a commercial or an endorsement for Roy, but obviously he's doing really well with what he's working on and teaching. How does somebody find you?
Yes, I don't have any social. I kind of cut that like 2 years ago, and I kind
Mm.
of just want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So you cannot find me on X or Instagram or any of that. But I do have a website that you can. I think you drop that link maybe.
I am
Or
not actually in the chat, so I can't drop it. Go ahead and give the website. And we'll make sure that people can have access to that.
so it's just it's just tradewithroy.com.
Tradewithroy.com, all traditional spellings, no E's instead of no threes instead of E's, like the French trader on
Right.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
think isn't it Trade with Roy? I think so. Let me double check.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. We got it in the chat there. Thank you, Aaron. All right.
Oh
So
yeah.
as we look
Yep.
forward to 2026, are you doing anything different in terms of, I don't know, call it New Year's resolution, new goals, or anything like that that you would be that you're planning on putting into play for the new year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I want to just get better, like slowly
Yeah,
better, like the 2 step forward, one back, like keep
yeah.
going. Um, I so I don't maybe do a lot of back testing, but I'm always looking for like how I can learn and how I can get better. So I'm
Sure.
like looking at even like podcasts like yours,
Yeah.
learn from other traders. There's always like new concepts and this Gex and Gamma, like that was something I found out about 6 months ago. That was
Sure.
new to me. So
I love it.
I want to jump on like if I can find new concepts and not
Mhm.
jump from one to another like all the time, and that's not smart. But I think like I always want to be learning and I
Mhm.
want to get better. So that's one of the things I want to keep doing in 2026. I'm
Awesome.
gonna
Awesome.
not revenge trade and blow up.
Yeah, I think that's everybody on this stream's New Year's resolution is no more revenge trading.
Yeah.
My philosophy on New Year's resolutions is maybe a little different than most. I don't set a goal for something that I'm going to do for the new year. I set a goal for what I want to grow into by the end of the year.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's there's a lot of identity shift and things like that. So I've been working on that over the last few days, and I'll continue to flesh that out before the end of the year.
That's
But
awesome.
I'm super excited about the new year. One of the things that has definitely hit my radar is learning a little bit more about how options influence futures, and learning how to find and develop those levels so that I have additional information. And that's sort of the idea you kind of mentioned. This isn't about changing your strategy. This is about honing and refining with perhaps additional confluences, but sticking
Mhm.
with what you know, sticking with what's been working. And I've got a strategy that's been working this year. Just, when you find something that can help increase the level of confidence in what you're doing, that is additive versus transitional. And when it comes to strategy, you really want additive versus transitional, in my opinion. So
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and as John says, yeah, hardest thing to do is quit when you're either ahead or behind, and pretty much unless you haven't taken a trade, you're one or the other, ideally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that is sort of the paradox of trading psychology, and one of those things that we all have to fight through at one point or another. And so, of course, we continue to learn how to make that better. Well, Roy, I certainly appreciate you spending some time and sharing some of your insight with us. I'm definitely going to reach out to you because I want to talk to you a little bit more about these option levels, and see if this is
Awesome.
something that might be beneficial to me. For those of you that are interested, make sure to check out tradewithroy.com. And is there some sort of a support or a communication way that they can communicate with you if they have questions on there?
Yeah, I should have had that more ready. I, to be honest, I didn't really want to get into
Not
like
yet?
the whole coaching stuff.
Yeah,
But
fair.
my mentor that I learned from, he has like been
Mhm.
pushing me and like, hey, you should do this. You have a lot of success. Like, you're gonna be a good coach. Like, you should get into this. It's new to me. I haven't even set up. There's some people working on the back end. I think they have like maybe a support email. I don't even have it here. So
Contact sheet or something. Yeah.
yeah, but
Well, if you want to connect with Roy, check out the website, bookmark it, and in short order, hopefully, we'll have a contact sheet so that you can get some questions answered.
yeah,
Maybe we can talk him into sharing some of his wisdom via social media as well, which would give you another opportunity as well. But we'll take it one step at a time, right? Roy, thank you so much for sharing your morning with us, and taking some time away from family while you're out there on the soccer trip. So good luck to the kiddos. Are they still playing?
yep. They have 3 more days. So today and 2 more days. So they're
Awesome.
excited.
Well, good luck to them, and safe travels for you. For all of you out there, Happy New Year. I am super excited. We're going to have another episode for you next Monday, the first episode of 2026, so you're not going to want to miss that. If you haven't done so, make sure to fill out that form. Last couple of moments to do that before we wrap everything up, and you'll have a chance at winning one of those Apex Trader funding evaluations. Don't forget, 90% off right now. Go take full advantage of it. Discounts on lifetime activation fees. So now is the time. It's about as cheap as you're going to get fully into your funded accounts if it's time to build that arsenal. So go after it. Great luck the rest of this week. Happy New Year to everybody, and I'll see the rest of you all on Monday on the next episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Make sure to join us next time, Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern.